Hello, Burley. 8 days. Almost just 1 week. And I can get my Cyrene. Man, I'm kinda counting down the days. Just left a comment on the last vid. Oh yeah, I saw it. I think you said something about like Himiko being Acheron power creep. Yeah. I talk about it a little bit at the end of that video. Of like, I don't know anything going on with Himiko outside of the fact that she just seems to be stupidly strong, apparently. Hello. Um. Oh, I forgot this account has Evanescia, right? Wait, no, I'm stupid. That's the other one. Who do I farm for? Huohuo? Yeah, I'll farm for Huohuo. Yeah, Himiko seems to be getting some pretty impressive clears. She also has really good E2 investment as well, apparently. It became better. But it still doesn't beat Phaenon's, which means my video still holds true. It doesn't seem like anyone has surpassed Phaenon's E2 so far. Which is pretty impressive. I hope it stays that way. If Himiko keeps looking this good when she goes live, I'm probably gonna definitely pull her on my, like, this account to take advantage of my Sunday. Prepare for more Gilga Saber synergy nerfs because of RMC. I don't think RMC matters anymore. I've seen 2 infinite ult loops. One of them requires double E6 on... No, it requires E6 Saber. I think at least E2 Gilga, E2 M-Blade. And you need to have a shield buff on the enemies that heals so that M-Blade cannot die and keep following up. Otherwise, the infinite ult loop disappears. And then the other one is, instead of E2 M-Blade, it's E6 Tribby. So, they probably will do something about it, obviously, because it exists. But I don't, like, once again, It's just an over exaggeration. Like, these characters aren't going to become like, people said the same thing about Gilga, and Gilga got buffed. They were like, Gilga's about to get fucking nerfed to hell because of this infinite ult loop, and then he just gets buffed. I hope Himiko being this good doesn't mean they're gonna butcher Sunday's Nova. I mean, probably not. You guys need to understand that, like, if Sunday Nova is weaker than Sparkle, nobody's gonna give a shit about Sunday that much. It wouldn't make any sense for, like, a late version 4 Nova to be worse than Nova Sparkle. So you can expect at least Nova Sparkle levels, in my opinion, which is enough. Also, Sunday isn't even best in slot for Himiko currently. So, he kind of needs it. Hello. I have to do this shitty event again. Fuck it. Well, actually, no, I don't. This is... Oh, yeah, it's patch wide. Never mind. I don't have to do it. I'll do it if, like, I lose 50-50 on Cyrene and then I can't get her. They butchered Huohuo Nova? Brother, Huohuo has more value than Dan Heng PT. Like, you guys say butchered, but literally the only flaw she has is that she has sustained issues against certain mobs that nuke incredibly hard. And that's it. Like, she is more valuable than PT in the current meta. What are these rolls? Wow. I'll work my way up. Do I have any yar rope? Okay, nice. I think that's something. Ho-Ho's main issue is sustaining. Unfortunately, she is a sustainer, so I kind of expect her to sustain. No, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, my entire point around Sunday Nova is that you can expect him to be at least as good of a Nova as Sparkles. Because why would they make a later Nova for a Harmony character and then he's still weaker than Sparkle generally? You know? Because Sparkle already exists. And then, so, like, you use Huohuo as an example, but Huohuo is better than, like, every sustain in the game generally currently, outside of the flaw of the sustain issue, which is kind of my point. Like, if a character already exists who got Nova'd and they're, like, this strong, you can expect another Harmony character's Nova to be on that same level at least, in my opinion. especially when you have characters like Welt and stuff. And once again, like they need to sell Sunday somehow for a Himiko team because Sunday isn't best in slot for Himiko currently, despite being a limited character. Like legit, more people use Welt, and Welt is better than Sunday. It's embarrassing. The standard character is better than Sunday on that team. You know, like I doubt they're gonna let that slide. I want to walk around Bellabug. I know Ho-Ho is good, but the Nova didn't do any meaningful changes. Brother, like, I, I her Nova probably, like, doubled her sustain capability and then put her in the golden token shop for everybody to get for free. Like, I understand she isn't flawless. Like, the sustain issues are so obvious, and her buffs and ER gen did not get, like, massively buffed or anything, right? It definitely could have been better, but this is definitely, like, a revisionism situation where nobody really remembers pre-Nova Huohuo anymore. Her sustain issues are, like, 10 times worse pre-Nova Huohuo. Like it was astronomically bad. Now, like for example, I'm seeing some clears of like Huohuo somehow being able to like survive in plight AA. You know? Like it's possible if you have her E1 and shit. Like that is a massive step up from old Huohuo. Yeah. The thing is also like they're not gonna go all out on a Huohuo Nova because they're trying to sell a new sustain. You know, like what are you gonna do about it? If they make Huohuo Nova too good, it puts them in a tough situation where they might have to make the Elation sustain so overpowered to be that much more enticing of a pull for like a Silver Wolf team or any Elation team over Huohuo. You know, that's kind of just the situation they put themselves in. So that's why they probably didn't make Huohuo like, oh, energy regen buffed, significantly better attack buffs, flawless sustain capability, and you're able to get her for free. You know, it might have been a little too much in their eyes. I think Huohuo was one of the least pulled characters from 1.x, but man, I never regretted pulling her. Yeah, she aged pretty well. It's insane. I mean, it's just energy. Like the only energy regen characters you have in this game that are like purposely built for it is basically just Huohuo and Sunday. But so many people rely on energy, and you have like ult DPSs, so their value ended up lasting quite a while. Out of all the Novas, she was the most underwhelming. I mean, isn't that just attributed to being a sustain, though? Because, like, once again, she is better than PT currently. Maybe not in terms of sustain, but literally every other aspect as a sustain, she is better than Dan Heng. It's not that the Nova was bad, it's just that in general, sustains in HSR are currently the most underpowered archetype of character. Supports are now getting to the point where they can basically make you do double the damage. DPS power creep is the most prominent among any archetype in the entirety of this game. Third slot supports and hyper carry supports are basically on the same level of amp at this point with Nova Sparkle. Like, it's just that sustains in general don't do much in the current state of things compared to the rest of the roles, which is why the Nova is going to be the most underwhelming. Like, for example, if one of these new 4.x sustains suddenly start giving like fucking 30% vulnerability or some bullshit, then the Nova flares for any future sustain is going to try and follow that level of power, you know? Like, there needs to be someone in the game who challenges that. But like, there's no sustain in this game that challenges anything. Like, Hyacinth is strictly for HP teams for the most part, unless you have her Lycone. PT's buffs are like damage bonus and a bit of attack, and most characters can't take full advantage of his buffs like Phanon can. I mean, underwhelming in a kit change sense, not in a meta sense. Yeah, but like, I mean, what did you want changed that wouldn't have made her just vastly stronger than any other sustain in the game as a free Nova character? You know? That's the thing. Because even now, technically, if you look at it generally, she is the most valuable sustain in the game currently because of Ashe Emblade comp and Saber Gilga comp, energy regen, Evanescia teams, Elation teams. Even if her sustain has flaws. Thank you, Hideyoshi. I've been seeing people claim that Elation LCs are 30% better than free-to-play options. For the DPSs, yeah. It's they usually vary from like 25% usually is the average. Like 25 to 30. For Yao Guang though, her Lycone doesn't matter that much. It's mostly just a QOL Lycone. Her SIG is like 10% better or something. And it's even less in more practical scenarios. She could have definitely gotten more buffs. It's not as if Huohuo does any personal damage like newer sustains. I mean, respectfully, Hyacinth and PT personal damage at E0 as 0 is abysmal these days. It doesn't do anything. And also at that point, you're asking her to be a jack of all trades, unlike all the other ones who have a specific niche. Like, she'd heal, have attack frequency, she'd regen energy, give attack buffs, out of turn healing, and she's free. Like, it would be cool if it happened, but it's just like a bit unrealistic, you know? Which is my point. Like, you guys need to understand the state of sustains in HSR is just abysmal. Like, you give any older sustain a minor buff, and they're suddenly on par with like the top sustains in the entirety of the game, because sustains are that sad. Also, if you give Huohuo attack frequency, you'd probably be able to get the infinite ult loop on Saber X Gilga teams a lot easier. Like on an actual sustain team, if she had attacks. Because of the way Gilga and Gilga's action advance and M-Blade's follow up. Yeah, but Yao Guang LC affects other ally builds. It works as a second light cone for the team, so it's 35 to 40% at least. No. Not at all, no. Those calcs are taking into account the buffs for the team. Like it's a team DPAV increase, percentage increase. That's like 4 to 10%. In a zero cycle, it's 10% if you optimize it. If you're not using zero cycles and you're using like 500 AV, it's like 4% over the mushy light cone that's free to play in the MOC shop. EMC is better than Sparksy? No. EMC is free though, so a lot of people would like use it, but Sparksy, here's the thing, it's just going to be another Cassie situation. It's legit just going to be another Cassie situation. If you have Evernight on a Cassie team, Cyrene is this like 30-40% upgrade over Tribby or even E1 Tribby. If you don't have Evernight on the team, that shit drops off a cliff. It's definitely going to be a situation where you're not going to see the value of Sparksy completely until that last piece releases for the Elation team. Similar to Mordenax, Sparksy, and other 4.x units, E0 S1 is the minimum investment. I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's a single 4.x character that has released that prefers their light cone over their E1 or E2. Like, Sparksy prefers her E1, especially in the sub DPS role. Who's the other one? Yao Guang prefers her E1. Ash Vale prefers his E1. Evanesia and Silverwolf prefer their E1s. M-Blade prefers his E1 and E2. And then Himiko, Gilga, and Rin, I think all prefer their E1s. Actually, maybe after the nurse, Rin might prefer her Lycone more. Because I think the Lycone got slightly buffed. So Rin would be the only 4.x character who, like, the Lycone is better than E1. Yeah, the only Lycone jump that comes close to the level of like Phenon's throughout this entire version so far is Himiko's. Everybody else has been like under 30%. his damage is non-existent without S1. I don't think that's true. And to begin with, his damage isn't the main contributor in his teams anyways. Like, his light cone, from what I've seen, is like, in terms of team damage, it's like a 10 to 15% upgrade. It's like there, but it just doesn't matter. Like, his E1 is automatically better because his E1 is 20% res down, plus it delays his ult. Yeah, I think Rin prefers her light cone instead of her E1. I cleared night 1 with M-Blade and Acheron 3 stars Z00. Nice. Ho getting replaced before Sparksy? I mean, yeah, for sure. That's why I think this entire thing is so stupid. Like, nobody talks about... People will talk about significantly more. Oh, Sparksy is getting replaced. Yao Guang is getting replaced. As if there isn't some green Foxian who is doing basically fuck all for these Elation teams. Like, that one's gonna get replaced first. After she gets replaced, then maybe you can theorize about that shit. You saw Wuwa gameplay? Yeah. I don't really care about those characters, though. I only care about Suo Ming and the dude. I was... unfortunately, H-Sin is like a Hiyuki situation. Oh, wow. Excuse me. Burp. H-Sin is like a Hiyuki situation for me, where like the leaked description of her hyped me up so much and I was really excited. But it's not that she looks bad, but she just doesn't fit my taste. Like, she's not a character I'm all that interested in. So I prefer the dude and Suo Ming. The ZZZ fandom is having a real one right now. Oh yeah, I saw that they like officially dropped the Sunbringer design. I'm not gonna lie, I get it. Like, I get it. She looks just so different. It's not even close. It's weird because like Joyous looks literally the exact fucking same. Joyous looks the exact same, but Sunbringer looks like almost like a different character. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody complained about Remiel looking different. I mean, I saw some complaints. Although the what I've been seeing the last day on Twitter is people just thirsting over her because her model got leaked and she has like the fattest thighs possible. So like the main stuff I'm seeing about Remiel recently is just thirst posts. Hiyuki single-handedly made me enjoy Wua's combat again. That's nice to hear. I'm just not interested in her as like a character slash design perspective. Design and how a character looks is like really important for me. The point is that the complaints are dumb. I don't think so. Like, keep in mind, before like Sunbringer's full design was like officially revealed, I defended the changes to like Sunbringer's face and stuff in the trailer. But like, bro, like I cannot blame people for getting mad. Like the first teaser of how Sunbringer looks, even if you want to say she had a cloak, just her facial structure, her horns, her general design seemed a lot different than her current official. Like even outside of the outfit change, just the way her body looks completely different. Like when I looked at her, I almost thought like this kind of looks like Caesar a bit. After the official design was shown. There's three Sunbringers. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just doing with what we have right now. It could change in the future. But like that current version of Sunbringer that I saw, it's just not it in my opinion. Although considering how popular Sunbringer is, I wouldn't be surprised if she just has like a second form anyways, whenever she becomes playable. Since like I mean they kind of like doing that these days, second forms and ult. I prefer Little Sunbringer. Sunbringer is an NPC, unfortunately. Yeah, this is just another small Reen situation where a ton of people like small Reen more than Cyrene, but she's like an NPC forever. Unfortunate. Feel the same for Yang Yang gameplay. I was excited, but man, gameplay felt a bit underwhelming. I don't think it looked too bad. Yang Yang animation quality reminds me of like Galbrina kinda. So like a Galbrina-esque character. The reality everybody has to accept is Senres slash Sentinels slash Threnodian Resonators, whatever the fuck, anniversary characters. Those are all going to be the characters that get like the best animation in the game. And everybody else is going to be a tier below at the minimum. And that's just kind of how it goes. Like HSR does the same bullshit. All their main pushes, like, I mean, have you seen Himiko's animations? They even got a buff recently where now it shows like your teammates with the finisher. Yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I don't want Yang Yang anyways. All I care about is I don't even remember his name anymore. The dude in Suo Ming. Now, here's the thing. There is a 99.99999% chance Suo Ming is not a main DPS and she's some support. Like, but you know, one can cope. Maybe she's a support for the dude I'm interested in pulling. Like, I need something here, man. All of my most anticipated characters are just supports. I'm so tired of it. I haven't had a character I'm interested in be a main DPS since Cart. They are both supports? No, I don't think so. Because the relic set for the dude has already been leaked and it seems to be a DPS relic set. He could also be like a Yuno situation maybe. Where like he's a hybrid of can be main DPS but sub DPS for this. But the relic set, wait, relic set. What's it called in fucking I don't remember what it's called anymore. Echo set in Wuwa is DPS. Yeah, like the best case scenario for me, since like it's guaranteed Suo Ming is not going to be a DPS basically, is that she supports the dude I'm interested in. Yeah, it's the Echo set has been leaked. I can try and find it right now. Oh, wow. I did not see this. Lene and Chisa have skins. Holy midriff. Oh. Oh. Yeah. So, apparently, I actually didn't see this. 1 hour ago, Seal leaked that Jing Ron is an aerial combat shielding main DPS. It seems like his best in slot support is going to be Yuno, though. So, Suo Ming, please. Oh my god, she's going to end up being best in slot for the Sentinel. That I don't care about. Oh my god. can use Yuno's niche buff? I believe so. Yeah. I remember like passing by a post mentioning that he can refresh a shield every zero point 0.5 seconds, which is the same bullshit that's in Augusta's kit. And he's a heavy attacker. So it should be that way. Which one is the Sentinel again? The Fox one, Hsin. Oh, I also heard that apparently they're finally giving Chisa 2 Vigor in Double Pawn's Matrix. Finally. They're not scamming their fucking player base anymore. Thank God. It said Rover works with Senti. Oh. But yeah. So he should be a main DPS, which is ideal. But I guess I can't win them all, because I don't think Suo Ming is going to be a DPS. I'm a Wuo LARPer. What does that mean? The most difficult endgame content in Wuo, known as Double Pawn's Matrix, has an energy cap on certain characters. The majority of them you can only use once, but healers usually are allowed to be used twice. So you can use one team with Shorekeeper, and then you can use a different team, and then use Shorekeeper again. But it's a max of twice. So every healer gets this, but for some god knows whatever reason, Chisa was only given one use. Which is weird, because there's now like multiple negative status teams that use Chisa, but they kept making it so that you can only use her once on one team, which made it much more difficult on people. But now that should be gone, and you can use Chisa twice like any other healer. It's like, imagine if an HSR against Anomaly Arbitration on the Knights, you could use Huohuo twice on two different teams, or any sustain twice.
All things are connected by origin and are made the same.
How long did they take till they fixed it? I think Double Pawn's Matrix has been out for like... it hasn't been that long. Maybe half a year? Maybe even slightly less. But it took a while until now. It's 3.5 beta. No, I haven't logged into Wuwa in weeks. I'm not going to force myself to play the game. If I want to get back into the game, the best way to do it is when I'm naturally hyped and I have the energy for it. If I try to force myself, I'll be able to play for a couple of days and then I'll instantly get burnt out. I have learned my lesson from trying to forcefully play multiple gachas. Grab your Rebecca at least. I will at some point in like the next month. I'll log in quickly, but I'm not gonna play it. Nice, Hakus. Chisa was a Bitcoin? Not really. I'm not gonna lie. Like, anybody could have skipped her and waited till her rerun. And they wouldn't have lost out on anything, really. Her initial banner was definitely a fucking scam. But at least she's more valuable now, finally. Don't skip the story? No, I'm definitely gonna skip the story. I have no interest in gacha game stories to begin with. I even skipped HSR Ampho. Trust me. I just want my pulls and I want my characters. If I want story, I'll just like watch an anime or something. Or read a manhwa. Now Sui Sui looks to be the real .sk? Huh? Wait, what? Is her kit leaked? Or something? There's no way she's just better Chisa. That wouldn't, like, what? Let's see. I can't really find it that fast.
All things are connected by origin.
She is better Chisa?
The same essence.
What? So Chisa finally becomes the SK of negative status characters. And then they just make an upgrade? I mean, here's the thing. If you're a negative status team enthusiast, you technically still win. Because now you have two different teammates that you can pull for like two different NS teams. But like... So Chisa wasn't Bitcoin. Like, most people are only going to own one or two teams. Meaning you only need one of them. Of, like, negative status. Chisa's only role now seems to be a Havoc Bane team. Man, Wua meta is like... I don't understand it. Admittedly, it's because I also don't play the game that much. But man, it's just so crazy to see the differences between a game's meta. HSR, everything is like much more obvious, is how I'd say it. Like it's obvious who's gonna be best in slot for who, and like how long usually. It's not as obvious in Wuwa. I feel like they just do whatever. I couldn't predict shit. You can run multiple NS teams. Well, yeah, I mentioned that. But the thing is, like, I doubt the majority of people are pulling like 3 or 4 different negative status teams, you know? Majority of people, I'd assume, have like 1 or 2 on their account. In which case, you'd probably only care about who's better, which is Yang Yang's sister. But if you are a negative status team enthusiast, then yeah, it's a win-win. Because you get 2 different third slot supports. Oh my god, that was something. Oh my god. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. This is what I get for drinking soda. Oh, wait. Wait, there's a leak here that there's going to be a gacha discount in 3.5. What does that mean? A gacha discount? Are they going to pull a ZZZ? And like rerun the old character banners finally with like better rates or something? Are you looking for the kit? No. Nanoka? Wait, Nanoka works for Wuwa too? Oh, it does. Yo, okay. I might be a little slow. Which one is... What element is Yang Yang's sister? Ice? Okay, yeah, I clicked the right one. You can check the liberation and outro skill. Okay, liberation. Deploys ceaseless landscape for 25 seconds. During this, she'll enter Heaven's Realm when casting outro skill. Grants all nearby resonators the following enhancements. Inflicting a target with Spectral Frazzle, Fusion Burst, Glacial Chafe, and Arrow Erosion increases the max stack limit of the NS that they can receive by 3 for 15 seconds. Inflicting a target with Electro Flare increases the max stacks of Electro Flare and Rage by 3. And inflicting a target with Havoc Bane ignores defense and Havoc Res by 6% and 12% respectively. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. This is better, Chisa. And then the outro skill. Where's the outro skill? Resonators in the team gain 25% old damage amp for 30 seconds. And unlocks following effects based on the amount of floral consumed. At 0 floral consumed, you only get a bit of interruption resistance. At 200, Interaction with Heaven's Realm becomes available for the first time at the 6-second mark. If you consume 400, for every 1% of Suisui's energy regen over 200%, Resonator damage dealt is increased by 0.2% up to 12%. And then if she consumes 600, same thing, but you also get an attack increase up to... Whoa! Wait, what? 50%? Oh, wow. So you get attack buffs, you get damage buffs, you get negative status buffs. Okay, yeah. So this is just better Chisa. And you get old damage amp from the Ultra. Oh, it's a bit of S1 bait, is it? I mean, S1 bait isn't that bad. It's better than S2 or S3. If you have a Chisa, is she worth it? I mean, knowing Wuwa, even though she's better Chisa, it depends by how much and also how many negative status teams you have. Is probably what it'd come down to. If you're like a negative status team enjoyer, you'd probably just play both. If she's like a 15 to 20% upgrade over Chisa in the team you're playing, could be worth it. Otherwise, I don't think I'd bother, to be honest. If it's only like 5-10% upgrade over Chisa, I mean, at that point, it's just better to get sequences on the main DPS, you know? Maybe a lot of the DPSs coming out are also negative status. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Negative status is like their way of milking. Like, negative status allows them to make specific teams with specific DPSs and specific sub DPSs without it being too general, which is nice for them, not for the player base, but for them it fixes a dilemma of like, how do we justify making a new best in slot support for every single new DPS? Kinda, it fixes that. Honestly, after Toon Break, I'll take negative status. That's how low the bar is. I mean, yeah, I think Toon Break is only more niche now, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, like, a few more Toon Break teams in the future, which would maybe open it up more, similar to negative status. Because there were only 2 real negative status main DPSs in 2.x Woo, what, no? It was like Zanny and Cart. And then it's only 3.x where you see like this sudden surge. HSR does mono Paz for that? Is there a single mono path team in HSR that's good? Maybe Acheron's. That's probably the only one though. Especially if like Jiao gets buffed into a sustain, for sure. Remembrance? Oh, that's true, that's true. I forgot about Remembrance because Remembrance is confusing. Like my head doesn't register it all that much because Remembrance is like everything. You know? Like they can be a sustain, they can be a support, they can be a DPS, they can be a sub DPS, similar to Elation. So my brain didn't process that. There's also Elation, yeah. Good point, good point. At least Wu was a little bit cheaper with the teams because it's like 3 characters instead of 4. And the pull count for Wu was slightly higher than HSR's. The only thing with Wu was that the characters are usually a bit underpowered compared to Endgame. But that's the price you have to pay for less power creep and HP inflation. Just depends on someone's tastes. Electro Rover will support HSIN like he did with Cart. I mean, that's not really surprising. Why aren't you interested in Himiko despite her being like the new Phanon? Never disrespect Phanon like that ever again, buddy. Phanon is in his own tier in terms of HSR characters, and nobody comes close. That's my goat. Nah, but in all seriousness, Himiko's SP design isn't the greatest in the world to me. I don't think it's bad. Like, I can see how people fuck with it. But even outside of that, like, I can get by the design. Her combat, I don't like it that much. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I talked about this on a stream prior. In terms of, like, mecha gameplay, I prefer Firefly and how she plays and like how she's inside the suit and doing all this over the type of mecha shit with Himiko, to be honest, which is probably a hot take to a lot of people. I like Himiko's follow-ups though. I will say that. Like the follow-ups that Himiko does, like they're so satisfying in the gameplay, I'm not gonna lie. They look so satisfying. It's the ult. I think the ult I don't fuck with that much gameplay wise when it comes to Himiko. It's very nitpicky, but for some reason it matters to me. I don't know why, but it just does. Which has decreased my interest in her, even though I'm probably going to pull her. Because this Anoxa account needs a third team, and I have a Sunday sitting on his ass. Like, this account is probably going to pull her, but I'm not that interested. You think Phanon clears Himiko in terms of animation? I like Phanon's ult animations more than Himiko's, yeah. Especially considering, like, a lot of people usually only consider the meteor, but even his counter animation is, like, on the same level as his meteor, in my opinion. The counter and the meteor and the change with, like, the territory and everything, in my opinion, he still has my favorite in the entirety of the game. But yeah. Oh yeah, there's also the ult finisher as well, true. Yeah, and there's also the transformation at the beginning of an ult. Good point. Like he has so many different peak animations. It's so cool. He's still my favorite in like any gacha. Phaenon's animations get old real quick. I mean, yeah, but we're not talking about that. It's like I said earlier, from a gameplay perspective, I'm sure Himiko is more fun because her follow-ups are like, they look incredibly fun. I was mentioning that earlier, but just from, oh, these are animations I absolutely love and look badass, in my opinion, Phaenon is number one. I don't think anyone's gonna deny that Phaenon gets boring. You know? Like, he's the only one on the team. His ideal team gives him an infinite ultimate. So, after the beginning rotation, you're never going to see your teammates again. All you're going to see is Phaenon spamming his counter and spamming his meteor for like the next 10 minutes of your life in whatever you're trying to clear. Yeah, there's also that. Like, Himiko isn't a large part in her animations, while Phaedon is the main focus of all his animations. It feels more like they're trying to sell you Himiko's mech than they are trying to sell you Himiko. To be honest, even Castorus feels more included in her animations, despite the constant dragon exploding than Himiko does. Castorus is probably the next closest of like someone else takes over the animation budget and the focus. Himiko seems like a good value if you already have good AE members on your account. I mean, she's just good value in general, even if you don't have any AE members. Like, she's the current strongest DPS in the entire game. She has a very strong E0 to E2 jump. She has a good Lycone jump. She has some of the best free-to-play supports since she likes AE members. And there's Welt, there's RMC, you know? Like, even if you don't have, like, a Sunday or some of the limited ones, she's still a good pickup anyways. Which is... like, that. She's Phaenon. Like, no joke. She's Phaenon. That's who she is. Phaenon on release, incredibly strong E2, incredibly strong S1, uses free-to-play supports and brute forces with his own vertical investment. It's the same thing. Himiko's team still looks like a mess. Well, the biggest problem that Himiko has right now, until she gets Nova Sunday, is that outside of her own vertical investment, Her teammate vertical investment is dog shit since most of them are standard characters or free to play supports. Which is, once again, another Phanon issue. Where the guy had really good personal verticals, but his teammate verticals were trash. And they didn't really do much for him. You have to wait till Sunday, Nova. Once they fix Sunday's E1 on his Nova and his base kit, I'm sure Himiko will become noticeably stronger. I love Phanon and I'm going for his E2, but Himiko being so much stronger pisses me off. I don't know if it's worth it. It just depends on how much you care about meta. That's really all it comes down to. Like on my E6 Phanon account, I don't really care. One, because it's E6 Phanon, of course. But two, Phanon is one of the most popular characters in the entire game. And he's like the second or third most popular main DPS from the entirety of Amphorius. So he's likely to get a Nova. You know, the same way Acheron gets Shilling, she got Emblade, she got Cypher, she got Jiaoqiu. Acheron's also planned to get a buff later on in this version. You know, what's it called? Firefly. She already got her Nova and she got Dahlia. Phanon is probably going to get buffed in 5.x. If I had to guess. I don't know when. I don't know if it's early. I don't know if it's mid. I don't know if it's late. But there's an incredibly high chance that he gets Nova somewhere in that time period. And E2 Faye, I remember seeing something. I think E2 Faye is still like the top 5 DPSs currently. Of course, this is gonna change real quick. Okay, it's gonna change real quick when a lot of these teams from version 4 get finished. But the point stands that like if you have him E2 with some of his teammates, he's gonna clear. What's the next planet? Astropolis. That's why Avid and Robin SP are in 4.5. Can't wait for them to release someone that kicks Irene out of the team for Faye. Faye can not use Irene already anyways. If you use double Advancer with Nova Sparkle, he can live for usually a couple cycles. And that's actually his best low cost clears as well, is without Cyrene. Cyrene's more important when you can't kill that fast. So the infinite ult comes in handy so that you don't die. Sweet gameplay looks better than Yang Yang's. I mean, she is the more important character meta-wise, so I guess. They probably gave her special treatment. Cyrene is a must on only 3 teams nowadays. Not even. It's My Day, Anoxa, and I guess Aglaya. Yeah, 3 teams. Evernight main DPS, but even though it's not as good of a comparison as it is on Cassie teams, you can use Emblade with Evernight, and it kind of works. So yeah, it's just 3 teams. I'll still pull for her though on this account. Because my Anoxa, oh, he's going to get such a nice buff. I can't wait. I was looking through Fribbles to see how much better Cyrene E0S1 would be over my Sunday that I usually use him with. And it was like a 30% overall damage increase. But the best part is, I then realized that Fribbles doesn't take into account Cyrene's Anoxa buff for some reason. So it's just a 30% damage jump, not including the Anoxa buff. I can't wait to see how much damage he does. And there's going to be more frequent double skills, less skill point issues. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Can Emblade replace Cyrene for Cassie? Yes. Like very, well, not very easily, but like they're comparable. It's like nearly the same most of the time at all levels of investment. So yeah. Can Born Again free to play become a thing? Huh? What does that mean? Cyrene probably better for Faye in the future when he can't burst out the enemy? Well, yeah. Like, depending on how fat of an enemy you're going against, and if you can't kill them within like 2 cycles, then yeah, that's usually when you start to need Cyrene for the infinite ult. Because otherwise you'll die. If you make a new account, I am never making a new HSR account ever again. That's just never happening. It's a lot easier than it used to be back when there was no skip button, and I still did it back then, but the thing is, like, I have so many accounts I can log into at any time that there's 0 point in me like making new accounts anymore. I have a main account with like 10 cost Mono Rem and Silver Wolf. I have this account with Anoxa Archer and soon Himiko. I have another account with Dot Premium, Firefly Premium, Saber Premium. Like, like I can just switch accounts whenever I want and have completely different teams to play around with. So, I'm not really going to bother. Oh yeah, I also have my E6 Faye account with the follow-up team too. How do you decide what accounts to focus on? It's just whatever accounts I take most interest in. And that's it. If, for example, I get Cyrene on this account and all of a sudden I get bored of it and I'd rather play on another account, I'll drop this account and I'll play on another one. Like I had Starlit Homecoming on this account like a week or 2 ago. That's just how it goes. How much storage does HSR take up when you have many accounts? That doesn't change anything. It's the same storage no matter what. Really? Yeah. Why you play same game 2 or 3 times? I mean, it's just to play around with a bunch of different teams and characters without spending money. Because, like, if you were to bunch up or bundle up all my limited characters that I've worked on across all my accounts and put them into one single account, the amount of money that you'd have to spend on this game to achieve that, it isn't whale levels, it's Leviathan levels, right? Like, it's gross. We're talking like we're probably nearing 100 plus limited characters on one account with E1s, E6s, multiple E2 S1s, you know? So I personally, I don't feel like spending tens of thousands of dollars on these characters. So you just play on different accounts, you know? Yeah, like I have a disgusting amount of good teams across all of my different accounts. You can delete past mission resources? Yeah, you can. I do that on mobile. On HSR mobile, let me see how much space it's taking up after deleting past mission resources. So HSR takes up 33 gigs on mobile after deleting past resources. I'm pretty sure WUWA requires a lot more, which is why I don't have WUWA on mobile. Two. HSR on PS5 is like 170. Yeah, that's because PS5 can't do the delete past mission resources thing, I believe. Like on consoles, you don't have like all these different options and stuff that PC and mobile do. That's just how the console softwares work. Like they're so restricted. So you just have to deal with the raw game. It's unfortunate. They still haven't found the way for consoles, seems like it. I saw a post like a couple weeks back on Reddit about it as well. And it was also 170. So they're not lying. It would be great if you download on mobile, you don't have to load past resources. Though I'm not sure if that'll... Oh, no, I get what you're saying, yeah. You have to download the full game on mobile, which is like 50 plus gigs for HSR, and then You go in and you clear up the space. And then after that, you're good. But yeah, the first time you download it, you have to make sure you have the free space for it, which is a bit annoying. I had that same problem a bit ago. I had to delete multiple things just so I could download it first, then delete the past mission resources, and then re-download those things I had.
All things are connected
Imagine playing HSR on console.
and are made.
I mean, I can get it. It's not like as annoying as playing it on PC. Like, it's still laid back and you're playing with a controller instead of a keyboard and you can like sit on a couch. But it also isn't as like lazy and convenient as mobile. I can see people enjoying that middle spectrum. Oh, 100%. HSR is like a perfect mobile game. That's a big reason why it makes as much money as it does, despite how much hate it may get sometimes. It's just so convenient. It's easy to run. You can delete past mission resources. It's still heavy, like 30 gigs isn't anything to scoff at, but for this quality of a game, most people won't complain about it. And you get those sick animations, auto battle. I mean, the QOL in this game is just off the charts. Like, you literally do nothing. You know? You do dailies, 4 minutes, you're done your dailies. There are barely any events, right? Like, look at this shit, bro. There is one event. One. And this shit is running for the entire patch. You can do this for in any day in the next 45 days. And that's it. And you're done. You know? Like, it just doesn't get any easier or more convenient than this game. And then if you put in good investment in your teams as well, you can just auto endgame too. So endgame is auto, dailies is auto, events are incredibly easy and scarce. No comp for HSR yet? Yeah. Which is what I'm waiting for. I feel like a game that can use HSR as a blueprint, but have its own style, its own theme, and, you know, so on and so on, kind of like what Wuwa did with Genshin. If a game like that releases with the same level of QOL and convenience, I would 100% hop on it. Like 100%. And that would probably become my secondary game alongside HSR. But nobody has really come close to replicating HSR for some reason. Everybody is still trying to make Genshin games instead of HSR ones. Which is like, brother, just let it go, man. Like, the Genshin-esque open world gacha is just so saturated now. Hello, Solus. Gotta wait for it to fall like live service slop did. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, like I'm genuinely slightly irritated that like nobody has the balls to make an HSR competitor that's of really good quality, at least on the same level or close to it. Because the game is a little over 3 years old now, right? Like, surely there has to be something. Wish we got an HSR like game, but with Genshin's characters. Yeah, that would be cool. Like, to be honest, okay, maybe it isn't possible. Maybe it would, like, conflict with the Fate collab in this game or something. But, like, Fate is an IP with, like, decently popular gacha. Why don't they just make something like HSR? You know? Like, why don't they just take the Fate IP and then make an HSR-esque game? I'm not a big Fate fan. I've only watched like the very old version of Stay Night, and that was years ago. But from what I've seen, Fate has so many fucking characters, it would work. Like, they have an endless supply of characters. And they'd also be able to do like the SP shit that HSR does. Because they also have like alternate versions of a lot of their characters as well. They won't till FGO's running. I mean, yeah, I get that because it's like I wouldn't be surprised if FGO costs like so much less to maintain in comparison to HSR because it's just way worse quality. But I'd still like it if they took the risk. I feel like it'd work, you know? Yeah, I get that. They don't have to put in that much work and they still make a noticeable amount of money. So they probably don't want to put in more work for no reason. But just imagine, man, just imagine. There's 10 SPs of Saber? Jesus. I will in FGO, they make half their money from me. I mean, hey. If you're willing. Don't think these gachas cost that much to actually maintain. In FGO-S game, no. But HSR and Genshin, for example, require significantly more to maintain. Because of how much higher quality they are. I can look it up. It's been a while, but like it costs a noticeable amount. How much money does it cost to maintain Honkai Star Rail? There's no answer. I swear there was. Oh, yeah, okay. So the maintenance for Genshin is 200 million per year. HSR isn't as high apparently as Genshin's, but it should still be in the millions probably. Oh yeah, HSR definitely makes them more money because they don't need to maintain HSR as much as Genshin. Said 200 million? Yeah, that's what it said. It could be less. I don't know. It seems like there isn't really any concrete numbers on it, but it should be in the millions no matter what. E0 Himiko being as powerful as E2 Phanon is quite bad power creep. Yes and no. It for one, it's kind of normal. We've already talked about this a lot, but new version power creep is always noticeable. Like E2 Acheron was losing to E0 Thirda and E0 Glea, right? If anything, it taking halfway through the version with a main push is kind of impressive. But also, Phanon's going to end up getting Nova Flared somewhere in 5.x, and then he'll be stronger than Himiko. The existence of Nova Flares make the stupid power creep of this game a lot more dealable. That's a bad word to use. I don't know the right word. But Phanon's going to get Nova Flared anyway, so it's like, who cares? His E2 is still 0 cycling. So, assuming his E2 starts like 3 cycling by the time he gets Nova'd, and then the Nova makes him 0 cycle again, who really cares? I'd be more concerned about Silverwolf fans. I mean, Silverwolf is still missing a best in slot teammate. She's probably going to be fine. Wait for him to get Jingliu level Nova? No. Phanon's issues are very similar to Firefly's base kit issues before she got her Nova Flare. And Firefly became like twice as strong when she got Nova'd. So, if Phanon's the same case, then Phanon will also receive basically the same treatment as Firefly's Nova. Wua needs to do something like Nova soon. I did see. Okay, I got baited so hard. I saw a leak on like the Wua leaks Redditor on Twitter, where it was talking about how characters up to 2.2 are getting buffed, but when I actually looked at the image, it specifically buffs for double pawns matrix. I don't like. I'm losing confidence that Woowa is going to buff characters generally. Because they've been doing buffs, but it's only for Matrix for some reason. They're only buffing older characters in Matrix. And I don't understand why. Maybe they're using Matrix buffs as a blueprint for future real buffs. The same way HSR uses currency wars. It's a bit cope, but like, I mean, come on. I'm surprised they haven't done buffs yet. Well, I'm assuming they just expect you to kind of wheelchair your older DPS if you like them. Like with Lene or something. Or like Chang Li in Mono Fusion. Something like that. Yin Lin needs an intervention. Well, yeah, Yin Lin has been like notoriously ass. She's like the one Wuwa character that always gets kicked down whenever it comes to meta talk. Do you think E2 PT is still worth picking up on a rerun? Uh, it's hard to say because we don't know what the strength is going to be of the newer sustains releasing. E2 PT is the best Eidolon any sustain has in the entirety of the game. But like you just don't know how strong these new sustains are going to be. Why E2? His E2 doubles the shield gen from dragons, doubles the amount of dragons from 2 to 4, doubles the damage of every single dragon, and action advances the dragon when using ultimate. And then combined with the E1, which makes him Gallagher levels of SP positive, plus give a res pen buff, it's quite good. Also, he was given for free. So, like, in reality, it's more like you're paying for an E1 limited character than an E2, which makes him more accessible and it being more alluring. Why do we have another Arrow DBS man and another... I don't know. I don't really care though. He just looks badass. So I'm going to pull him. He might be what makes me come back to Wuwa. Because, like, you guys already know the story. Every single character I've been interested in for the past... Has it been a year now? Yeah, it has been a year now. For the past year straight, since Cart, every character I mainly take interest in is either a sub DPS or a support. This is the first guy, the first one I care about who's a main DPS. I'm pulling him. I'm genuinely going to come back to Wuwa. Not right now. I need to let it simmer a little longer to the point where I really have like the energy to get back into the game so I don't get burnt out. Is Don Hung not SP positive at E0? If you're not spamming his skill, no, he is. But the point is E1 makes him even more SP positive. That's why I specified Gallagher levels of SP positivity, and not just SP positive. Is there any info on Suo Ming? No, but it's just highly unlikely that she's a main DPS. Because there's already so many, like, Yang Yang's a main DPS. The Dude is a main DPS. H-Sin is probably also going to be a main DPS. And I don't think this game has a single, like, super small character who has been a DPS in a long ass time. Like, it's been so fucking long. She's supposedly an Echo skill support. Well, there you go. Yeah, it's just kind of obvious. It's unfortunate, but it's like, what can I do, man? At least I finally have one character I've taken interest in that is a main DPS. That's already a miracle in of itself. I don't care what role she is, I just hope she works with my teams. I mean, if she's an Echo skill support, she doesn't work with any of my teams personally. My account is S6 Cart S3 Ameth. Unfortunately. I guess I could invest into an Echo skill DPS on purpose so that I can pull her. That is an option, I guess. Is Galbrena an Echo skill DPS? Yeah, she is. I like getting my Wua main DPS's S3 though. Like that dude, I don't want to get him as 0, I want to get him S3. So we'll see how that goes. The dude's gonna be an Echo skill DPS? No. He's leaked as a heavy attacker who has a similar shield refresh gimmick as Augusta, meaning he's best in slot with Yuno. So in other words, he's Augusta's replacement. Jingron has the sickest tacit mark in the game. Yeah, I agree. I like it. Yeah, he's HP scaling. I lost Yuno 50-53 times? Jeez. I'm sorry. I mean, to be fair... Oh wait, never mind. Wait, what is the... Does Lene buff attack? Because I remember Augusta with a Lene Mornai team is like on the same level as Augusta with Yuno SK. But I don't remember if Lene has attack buffs. Because if she does, then she'd automatically be weaker with Jingron. Or if it's on her Echo set. I spent $400 to S6 Lucy. I'm finished. I mean, hey, at least. Oh wait, not $400, just 400 pulls. Okay, that's much better. I'm sorry, I almost put you on fake blast. No, it's on her Echo set? Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of. So you can't take advantage of Lene's Echo set. And he can't take advantage of Static Mist if you use that on her. Jing Ron is Q Yuan's son? Yeah, and somehow he's the main DPS. And Q Yuan's the sub DPS. Amazing. I mean, it is what it is. I can't complain now. The fact that he's even a main DPS, thank God. I swear to God, if he was like a support or a third slot, I was going to lose it. Alright, chat. I'm going to end the stream here. It's getting pretty late. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night.